Okay, what's up, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. This one's going to be short, sweet, simple. I'm going to give you guys one of my favorite swing trade strategies, how I spot swing trade opportunities, what I look for. All right, and we're just going to dive into it real quick. Okay, so we have KSS pulled up. This is currently a trade that I've been in. All right, took some profits 3 times this week already, and holding one contract left. All right, I'm playing the gap up to fill, which is this blue box here. Okay, gaps on the daily chart tend to fill 90 to 95% of the time historically in the stock market. The main question with these gaps is when they're going to fill. Not so much if they're going to fill, but it's when they're going to fill. You have to be able to, position yourself accordingly. Okay. So, we'll go ahead. All right, and I'll just show you guys some other gaps that filled here recently. Okay, so we have, this gap right here, right? From this candlestick to this candlestick, right? We can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days later, the gap filled. Okay. And then what do you know? In that process, it actually created a new gap down, okay, from this candle to this candle. Okay. And we can come in here and we can see when this gap filled. Well, this gap filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later. All right. So, these gaps on the daily charts are super, super relevant. That's one of the main things that I look for. In my trades, right? Are we near a daily gap, right? Is there potential we could be trying to fill that gap in the short term future? Okay. So that's the first thing that I look at. Then my favorite thing that I look for is a divergence. Okay, a divergence is when the stock price and the RSI. Okay, specifically, I mostly use the RSI. You can use stochastics, you can use the CCI. There's many things you can use, but for the sake of this video, I use the RSI. It's the simplest. It's the relative strength index. It's one of the most commonly used indicators by traders, right? So other people are going to see the same setups that I'm seeing, which may cause institutions and other retail traders to hop in those plays and create kind of like the momentum that we're looking for. All right, so what it is it's indicated by this trend line. You have a low and then a lower low. Okay, so we're creating lower lows on the stock price, but on our RSI here, we're actually going upwards and creating divergence. Okay, it's actually going upwards and making higher lows. All right, so when I see a stock price making lower lows and the RSI making higher lows, that's what I look for. And I look to get in off of that trend line, off of the bounce on the trend line. All right. So you want to see it hold support along this, RSI bullish divergence, then you can get in on the play and ride the momentum upwards. All right. So that's exactly what we had on KSS here. We have this nice, huge daily gap up to fill. All right. We had the bullish divergence, and we go down to the 4-hour chart. We got a textbook breakout. Okay. So we had this very nice, okay, consolidation sideways channel, all right, where we're, rejecting the highs, and, finding support at the lows. So we're bouncing in between these areas consistently, right? And you're looking to play a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside, right? Well, we had bullish divergence. We had this massive daily gap up to fill. I said, I'm not, too comfortable trying to play this to the downside. I want to get in on this upside opportunity, right? Well, what do you know? We ended up flipping our channel from resistance to support 2 days in a row. We found support on it here and here, and we've traded upwards now. All right. And we hit highs of 31.31 recently, but I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, well, these gaps tend to fill 90 to 95% of the time. We've started filling the gap, right? So we can actually change the drawing now. Okay. And it's going to be, well, we'll just leave it like here. But yeah, so, above 31.31, that area right there, that's the rest of the gap that we have left to fill. Okay. So I'm going to be looking to see, are we going to, fill that gap in the short term and keep this upward direction going? Or not, right? These are some of the questions that you have to ask yourself. I definitely trimmed some of my positions, and took some profits along the way. You don't want to just bag hold and think that, okay, well, we started to get the gap fill, so now that we actually got the gap fill, you throw in your whole account, right? And then what do you know? The next day it pulls back. What are you going to do if you're trading options and you just YOLO'd everything into the play, and now you're down 20-30% on your whole account because the stock had a red day, right? So this is basically my bread and butter when it comes to swing trading, is just looking for bullish divergence and looking for gaps on the daily chart. Okay, so hopefully this video made some sense for you guys. And you were able to find some value. All right, but it's really easy. Okay, it's not as complicated as you think it is, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. Okay, just take a little bit of time out of your day, 20, 30 minutes, look at some of your favorite stocks and go to the daily chart, go to the weekly chart, look to see if, you're creating some bullish divergence or bearish divergence even, right? Doesn't have to be bullish. You swing trade to the downside as well. So yeah, so that was it. If you want a little bit more detailed version of gaps, right? And RSI trading strategy, like how to spot bullish and bearish divergence. I got a video on both of those right here. You can click, okay? Click this one if you want to learn more about the gaps, and click this one if you want to learn more about the RSI.